Good evening, scholars. I hope all is well with you. This is Mr. Lowe, and as promised, I'm going to go over the steps needed for you to write functions for quadratic equations when you're given 3 points. So when you are given 3 points, if you do not have access to any kind of calculating device, then you're stuck with having to do it by making a system of equations. However, that is a longer process, longer than you may have time for during a assessment or for homework, so on and so forth. So what I'm going to show you here is how to do it using your graphing calculator. If you have a TI 83 or 84, if you don't, then I will also show you how to do this using Desmos. So I'm going to first start with the steps for TI 83, 84. Now these same steps will be written on Google Classroom in the notes for this section, so you do not necessarily have to copy these down. You will have to have them down when it comes time for you to take your test, but you have a note card for that. So we are writing the equation in standard form for the parabola that passes through -1, -3, 0, -4, and 2, 6. So we're actually going to do this problem twice, once with the TI calculator and again with Desmos. So first off, we go to our graphing calculator. So you're going to go to stat. So the stat button is located right where I just circled. It's in the second row where the green alpha key is located. So you go to alpha, then the X button, and then stat. So press stat. You should get a menu that looks like this. Press the first button, which is for edit, and you should get columns: L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, so on down the list. So in the L1 column, you're going to put the X values. In the L2 column, you're going to put the Y values. So you literally do just that. Type in the first X value, hit enter, then it'll pop up. Type in the next X value, hit enter, take up the next X value, hit enter. So you have -1, 0, and 2. Now type in the corresponding Y values. So that's -3, -4, and +6. So now everything is typed in. Everything's typed in. So now that everything's in the calculator, it will produce the equation for you. So here's how you go about doing that. Press stat again. Now this time, instead of staying in edit, you're going to use the right arrow to move over to calculate. For calculate, where it says number 5, quad reg, so quad means quadratic, you're going to scroll down, or you can just press the number 5, and then it should take you to a list like this. Now, for the older model TI 83s, you're probably not going to see what you see on the screen right now. This is for the newer model TI 84 calculators. So if you have one of those calculators, where it says X list and Y list, you don't have to touch it. If it says L1 and L2, you're good. Everything else you don't need. So go down to calculate. So this is what you should see if you did it correctly. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Again, that's standard form. A equals 2, b equals 1, and c equals -4. So they're telling you what goes in for A, B, and C. So that means y is equal to 2x squared plus 1x minus 4. Or you can write it as 2x squared plus x minus 4. But that's your equation for your problem. So again, once you get everything typed in, the calculator will take care of the rest. Calculator will take care of the rest. So that's how you do it if you're using a TI 8384 graphing calculator. Now, as we switch over to Desmos. So we switch over to Desmos. So let me pull up the internet here. So for Desmos, please make sure that you have Desmos put up. And we're going to use the graphing calculator option. Click on graphing calculator. So what you're going to need first is go to the plus sign where it says add item, and you're going to add a table. So it's going to say x_1 and y_1. So x1 and y1. You're going to type the x values where it says x1, so -1, 0, and 2. And then type the y values where you see the y values, so -3, -4, and 6. So notice on the screen, it's typing the numbers out, it's placing the points for you. So what we want is the equation. So the equation for this, so you first have to give it something to go based off of. So I'm going to use ABC here. So we'll type it in as we go off the keyboard. So from your keyboard, you're going to press Y. You're going to hit Shift and the dash symbol to get an underscore. So Y_1. You're going to go and get the tilde symbol, which is next to the number 1. So hit Shift and hit Shift to type in the tilde. So you're going to type in standard form because the calculator needs to know what you're doing. So AX_1, and then you need to square it. So type it in as squared. Plus BX_1 plus C. So after you type in the C, then you should see the curve go through the points that you plotted. And then where you see parameters, it's telling you what A, B, and C are equal to. So it's telling you what A, B, and C are equal to. So just like we did with the graphing calculator, there's your A, B, and C that you would plug into the function. So y equals 2x squared plus 1x minus 4. So it does require you to type things in correctly if you're trying to get it to do it correctly on Desmos. Unfortunately, there's really no way around it in that regard. So for just a recap, if you have a graphing calculator, these are the steps you would follow. If you follow the steps correctly, then this is what you should end up with. If you do it with Desmos, you have to type in the values first using a table, and then you have to type in the function so that the computer site will actually give you your equation. It's a little bit extra work probably doing it with Desmos, but either way is going to work out just fine. So either way is going to work out just fine as it relates to solving the equation correctly. So that pretty much ends the presentation of the two types. So since I did promise an extra credit opportunity for those of you who watched the video, here you go. So the extra credit opportunity is very, very simple. Extra credit opportunity is very, very simple. So x equals 4 plus 12 divided by 2. 4 plus 12 divided by 2. So the first 10 people who give the answer to that question and send it to me in an email, will get the 5 points extra credit associated with this exercise. You cannot send the email until starting at 8 o'clock. So if you send it earlier than that, it will not count. So 8 p.m. 8 p.m. You can send the answer to that. The first 10 people get extra credit. It expires at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So it's open for the first 10 people who send the correct answer to this problem. So can't say that you didn't have a chance to get at it. 8 p.m., first 10 people give the answer to that expression. Good luck. Talk to you soon.